Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. So, in the last Let's Play, but mostly Nick and some other people, had a workers' meeting where they feel like they're going to escalate things by burning one person, like, that one guy's place down. And, right, we saw Murdoch and Jim, I think, basically his, sister's, basically his brother-in-law, who was sleeping with, because they were going to get opium or something like that. Sad. But, yeah. Then me and Nick came back here, and Nick told me a bit about his past, where, where a friend really liked mushrooms and would eat mushrooms, and then they found him dead one day because I guess they ate the wrong mushroom, but he was covered in mushrooms as well. And when we were running from the horribleness in the mines, he saw his dead friend, and he was like, "Boy, wouldn't it be great to die in the country you're from and lived in?" It's like, and those are bad thoughts. It's like, yeah, woof. But anyways, our favorite character, Cynthia's here to give us a couple of buckets to clean ourselves with, if you know what I mean. Maybe? Reset face. Okay. This quick rap on the door. Leave them by the door. Thanks, Cynthia. We hear a thud as she moves away. I open the door just a crack and grab the buckets. Nick starts undressing when he sees them. Is it past 1 minute mark? Yeah. Did you see anything? Not clearly. I set one bucket near Nick's leg, and the orange half inside swivels against the sloshing water. Man, we must be posh if, like, we get oranges in our washing water. I think it was a big, evil spider, but I didn't get a good look until we died. I'd still need to look at that one thing, though I don't want to spoil myself with other CGs. I take out a rag from the dresser and hand it to Nick. He dunks it in the hot water, and there's steam coming off it. Man, and it's warm too? Heck. So whatever it is we saw, it wasn't the same thing. I guess not. There are gases down there that make us see, that can make you see things. Perhaps there was a leak. I dunk a rag into my own bucket, then wring it out. Oh, come on. It doesn't mean there was nothing there. But it's possible what we saw was different from the truth. Well, so let me just test one thing if I change this light. Come on, there we go. Because it might make it easier for me to actually read, because right now I'm just like, but it has been a long day. He can't see me roll my eyes when I feel the hot rag over my face. It talked to you. Somebody did, and it still unnerves me. I rub my face and see that the rag is black with mud and charcoal. I dunk it in the water again to clean it. Then I wash my neck and under my arms. I just don't think it was natural. Whatever's down there is downright evil, and I think it wanted us. Nick is rubbing between his legs, and the smell of wet badger and citrus is starting to fill the room. If it did, it didn't try very hard. It chased us. But not out of the tunnels. Well, maybe it can't leave? Maybe there's other people in town who might have had similar experiences? If you ask around, you don't let him know where you are looking. Obviously. He looks at me. Turn around. Why? I do it anyway. I feel a wet rag on my shoulders, and Nick's big knuckles through them. He starts washing my back, and I feel the water run down my sides, then my thighs, dripping onto the floor. I need to get the spots you missed. Both of our buckets look pretty dark. I turn around again. Oh, he's stiffening up. Usually, I have to get you started. I suppose I've missed this privacy more than I realized. Can't say I'm complaining. I feel the blood flow to my thighs as I watch him grow thicker, and I start to stiffen too. Needs attention? He looks away, like he always does. To be honest, Sam, I was staring at your back. Okay, I mean, you are washing it. You've never asked to try that before. I've never felt I wanted to. So, what changed? He stood up from my chair, towering over me. Oh, this is different. Usually the images are that kind of like, how would I put it? Oil canvas kind of thing, but this is a different artist. I like this though. And then he sinks to his knees, holding my wrist. Then he kissed my paw, looking up. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you, or want to. Nick, are you proposing to me? He chuckled and stood back up, his head well over mine. There is no marriage for people like you and me. But we have more gold in that nugget than the bride or groom has on their fingers combined. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, no matter what condition that entails. Or what condition entails? Yeah. His piece is trembling. A clear drop of bead on his tip breaks away and splatters to the floor. Will you accept that? Are we gonna accept Nick's proposal well? If I was, in any normal condition, I'd be like, I need to think about it. But, hopefully things go well. Absolutely. I thought about that the first time you were my client, and you swept me off my feet. You've protected and cared for me more times than I can count this week. Yeah, I think I'm ready. He puts his hands between my legs and held me there, tenderly. Then, how do we do this? It's a bit embarrassing. I crouch over the bucket, but I have to be clean first. Would you mind turning around? Can I watch? Oh, well, it's not the most attractive thing. I pull out a little box in the lowest part of the cabinet. There's a black bulb with a tube. I squeeze the bulb and suck up some of the water into it. This makes sure I'm clean. Okay, this is absolutely, they take the fact that you have to clean yourself first, clean. Wow. Because most, stuff is like, yes, that person's a horse, and there's no such thing as cleaning yourself, but I can take him, or stretching, or lube. I fit the tube between my cheeks and start pumping the bulb, feeling the warm water wash into me. I've never seen anything like this. Doctors sell them for constipation problems, but that's not typically what they're really for. Not so glamorous, but it gets the job done. You always gotta clean in a business like this. He's getting red again. Why are you blushing so much? You were grunting. I can pinch a bit. Wait, oh yeah, it can pinch a bit. I was just trying to think about what it might feel like. Want to try? No. That's obscene. And to think, I thought you knew me. I drop it in the water with a splash and then bound up to the bed with my rear pointing up. Get the lights. Then the oil. No, wait, it's on the vanity. It's the green bottle. Wait, they have lectures? I mean, I guess they do have lectures. They have microphones, too. It's amazing what they have here. And oranges. The outside is sticky. And the inside is stickier. Pour some on your paw and rub it on you, and rub it on your digits. And rub it until your digits are warm and slick. I hear a small pop of the cap and the liquid drizzle. Drag your middle finger along my rear. Like this. The rough skin swipes me as I gasp. Was that a good noise? A great one. I push against him. Let your middle finger sink in, slowly. Curl it toward the direction of my stomach, once you're in deep. I feel the pinch my cheeks spread. I feel the pinch as my cheeks spread and I open up. God, I can't read. But I guess I say that all the time. I can't tell if it's because his finger is so big, or he's a good listener, but he finds the spot immediately. You're shaking. That's good. Keep doing that. Okay? God. I look between my legs, and I'm already leaking a massive string. It's like he's wiggling my damn body out, and haven't even started yet. Ringing? Yeah, ring. Now, put your tip against my hole and lean over me, like you're about to do a push-up. I feel the thick tip touch me, sending shivers down my back, while his belly sags over my back. Now what? Thrust your hips and try to fit into me. He does, and it stings a bit. He tenses. I'm sorry. You're doing fine. You'll miss a few times before you find the right angle. I don't want to hurt you. You're big, but so am I. I can take you, no problem. It sounds like you're in pain. I'm just adjusting. It's ordinary. It always hurts just a little before it starts to feel good. It just shouldn't keep hurting, if you're curious. He thrusts in me again. It was slow, but it was clumsy. Try a little lower. I thought the next attempt was wrong until I felt something inside me give. And then I feel very full. Oh, there it is. Started thrusting. The noises were loud as he moved into me. His first few thrusts were insecure, but then they seeded into something long, slow, and consistent. They felt more deliberate. I can't believe how warm you are. You're the one with the fat and thick fur. And tight. I'm not tight, you're just thick. He tucks his arms under mine and pulls me tighter to him, stretching my spine a little. His breathing changed from smooth to ragged as he pants on my neck. You smell different. Anal changes a man. Can I use that? I can't remember the other thing I was thinking of today, but it's like, anal changes a man. He plunges in deep and rough, savage thrusts that make my cock bounce. I think I needed this, Sam. Careful there. He tenses again, but he pushed back just as hard to throw off his worries. His chest rumbles, and he starts to erupt. I'm always surprised by how quickly he can move for a man his size, even if it's just his hips. He slows again, so we both catch our breaths. But I can tell we're both on the edge. I love you, Sam Myers. He puts his big claw on my head and pushes it down, letting out the loudest moan I've ever heard him make. What? Who was talking about? I love you. He drags a long, sensitive spot while I feel him pumping inside me, and I feel myself start to spasm. My balls retract as I feel the pressure inside me building. My brow furrows, and I'm overcome with elation as I feel myself start to shoot. Cum forces itself out of me in loud shots, clings to the mattress below me. Nick repeats my name over and over again, like a chant, or a blessing, and his smell is all over me by the time we're done. I'm still panting, even though I finished. He's gasping for breath, lying on top of me. You're heavy, Nick. I think you're right. No, wait, you're right where you belong. He grazes my neck with a trail of teeth before going in to bite, gently. Then his tongue is in my mouth, and I taste him, and I don't think about anything else in the world for a little while. That's a good end to a day where we're chased by some kind of monstrous spider mushroom man. Hyena? Also, check my face. This is new music. I'm surprised that the first thing I hear when I open my eyes isn't birds or crickets. It's a noisy clamor. Nick is still snoring above me. I squirm out from under him as slowly as I can, feeling his package rub against me as I do. When I get to the window and pull back the curtains, I find surprise. I was expecting to see some mining strike since the Union Chapter building is on the street, but the crowd looks more like middle and upper class townspeople. There's ladies in Sunday dresses and men in top hats wandering about. The hell? The snoring stops and I hear sheets ruffle. What's that noise? Something irritating. A shame. He rubs his eyes. Come back to bed? It's probably almost noon, Nick. We ought to get up. Your bed is so comfortable, though. The hell? At least last night was nice. Every night with you is nice. I can't help but smile. There's a change of clean clothes in my closet that I put on, since my clothes from yesterday look a bit grimy. I need to do some laundry when I can make the time. I'm gonna poke my nose around a bit. There should be a box of jerked meat, haha, jerked meat, in the closet if you get hungry before I get back. He mumbles what sounds to be a bit of protest about eating any of my food under his breath, but I'm not gonna stand around and listen. But we could have breakfast here, maybe? I wander around the interior balcony, looking down at the patrons below, trying to catch my ear or eye shot of what's going on. But I see most of them going to the stage room. I loop around the balcony, looking down to see Dora and the crowd of people surrounding her. She waves at them, laughing on occasion, as she makes her way to the stairs. Then she runs into me. Oh good, you're around today. I would have been around earlier if I knew it was going to be so busy. What's going on? Well, if you're around a little more the past week, you'd know it was my fault. Huh? Relax your shoulders. It's a good day. I say. And it was magnificent. Harlan looked at her with hope in his eyes. He looked at her as if she was his whole entire world. Yeah, I think that's the thing there. What's the thing with his chest anyways? Boy, that feels like so long ago. This is what you're meant to do. This is what people want. No wait, what's the occasion? I turned 60. First time in 3 years that I sang for a live audience, and I find I still have fans. Who knew? W.C. Hendry knew. It's very flattering. Such much that I may have to do an encore tonight. Such much. Nah, it looks like a typo. Boop. Oop. I'm an unprofessional wolf. Only fools would miss it. Back when I could still hit all of the pitches I wanted to, you mean? She winks at me. Is that a euphemism? Probably. Don't get old until you're tired, Sam. Hey, she's new. And I saw her on a thingy. One of the, update cards. I do not entreat to be a contrarian, ma'am. Entreat? But I was told by many of your performance had no empty seats. A middle-aged sheep who had perfectly placed wool, who is perfectly polite, speaks up. Her voice reminds me of a peal of crystal bell, so much that it's almost strange to hear. Like the peal of a crystal bell. Huh. Dora laughs and smiles a little smile before she responds. Cordelia. Cordelia? That was such a long time ago. And it's all true. Every last word. Harlan. Yes, ma'am? Could you return to the bar? There's good money to be made. At once, ma'am. She nods as he steps off. Of course you know that many girls dreamed of doing what you did. Of course. It would be ever so frightful to address a stage filled with thousands of people or more. I shrank from the thought. And I shrank from all that noise. I'm a lot more comfortable now. I'm a bit of a performer myself, you know? Mostly just private tarot readings. I could do a reading for you soon, if you'd like. I think that would be lovely. Tarot readings? Like magic? I must apologize, but I insist you shouldn't call it that. Perhaps I could call myself a medium, if I were to be so bold. So, you know about strange things? Ghosts? Monsters? Well, yes. There are endless things that one could consider when delving into the metaphysical. I wonder what that means. I've been looking for somebody who might know a thing or two about things that's impossible. Sorry. Gonna have to save that for another thing. Boop. Oops, sorry. 'Cause I like air checking stuff. Oops, that's not how you do it. Whatever. No, wait, I took the wrong thing. My bad. There we go. Harlan takes stock in such things. He used to perform as a mentalist. What does that even mean? Though, the things he did were only tricks. Yeah, and I can barely even ever hold a conversation with him. The sheep takes a sudden step towards me. Your name is Samuel, if I heard right? Yes. She smiled and held out a hand to her bosom. How wonderful. My husband has told me about you. Husband? I freeze when I hear James Hendricks' voice calling down from the bottom of the stairs. His hooves clops as he ascends the stairs, meeting me eye to eye. Well, well. Hey, so I sucked your husband off? Enjoying your day off, Samuel? Can't say I blame you. There isn't a finer place in town to do it. Sam. I hear Nikolai's voice as I turn to see that he's turned the corner. I need your help with something. And who's this robust fellow? I am nobody. Well, everybody's somebody. Nah, I just don't... Wait, I don't think... Nah, don't just stand there jabberjawed. My beautiful wife asked you a question. He says that a bit aggressively. She laughs at that, and it's such a warm, jolly laugh that it somehow manages to lighten the mood. Please don't pay heed to my husband's zeal. There's no need to answer if you do not wish. My surname is Kroll. I work for your husband. Now, there's a name I haven't heard before. She turned to James. if he works for you, then you should know it. I already knew his name, my treasure. I merely requested that he show you the grace that you deserve. And that grace was well received. I can read. She curtsies deeply to Nick, bowing. Now, there's no need for that. There's no need for many things, but I shall entreat to do what I like. That's very true, my treasure. But that man you're speaking to is part of the association causing us so much worry as of today. And I would strike to where my concerns rebuked so coldly. And I would strike too where my concerns rebuked so coldly. Probably, not actually an error there, but it's, I would think that would need a comma. Though I don't know how long this part of the thing's been out, you know? It doesn't do be like that, sometimes. James took Cornelia's hand, Cordelia, and shook it in front of her, stood in front of her. Maybe I should just redo this Let's Play, even though we had that, big reveal and stuff like that, and it's been 26 minutes. Ooh, woof. I agree that concerns should be met. But such things require a stern hand. And what of a softer approach? She patted his wrist. Then she turned to the both of us. Now, I know I don't have a mind for mining, and I can only speak on my husband's behalf as one half of the trust for the CGCS. But as a public person, I'm well aware that more than half of CGCS's labor men did not make their persons present at the company this morning, and that production has halted for the day. To my understanding, the strike calls for a conversation about wages and about safety. I do not believe that the conversation can be held with a closed door, so I'd like to open the doors to our manor to you. Nick is smiling, the biggest I've ever seen in a while. Even more than when we get kinda married? Well, now that you bring this up, I couldn't agree more. James's voice is beginning to crack. Darling. She shakes her head and pulls her wrist away. Lilting? I am no darling today. Madame Dora looks politely confused and takes a puff of her cigarette, like she doesn't need to be here right now, but she's plausibly interested in whatever anybody is going to say next. Miss Hendricks turns back to us. I would like to live in a future where my son breaks bread with the men who brought it there all the way from the field. Do they have a son? She holds out her hand to Nick. I'd like to have you over for lunch, if you'd accept it, Mr. Kroll. He nods. Of course. And I would find it ever so lovely to hear your thoughts on the metaphysical Mr. Ayers. This seems like a bad idea. I don't know what metaphysical means, but Nick says yes, and so I nod my head fiercely. She takes out a small purse and holds the note cards and pencil and writes down on her an address. We're just up the hill, but here's our address if you need it. Please come quickly as you can. I'll make sure preparations are in order. She hurries off in, running off with her wrists held in the air. She hurries off in, running off with her wrists in the air. I can't tell if that's another typo or not, you know? Though, might just do that again. Cause it do be like that, sometimes. I know. So be it then. If this is to be the way of things, then we mustn't putter about. Oh, and thank you once again for the performance, madame. And you as well. That wipes the smile off his face, and he goes stony. Oh, his performance? He brushes off his shoulders, nods at the two of us, and walks out. Mr. Hendricks seemed pretty upset. Oh, let him be upset. He could stand to do it more. Well said. Oh, and Sam? Yes, ma'am? Do make sure to be kind to Cordelia. Yeah. She's always supported us generously. And Lord knows, she could use more people to talk to. Yes, ma'am. I'm not exactly a people person, Dora, but I'll do my best. And with that scene change, I was hitting that 30-minute mark, we'll call it. And sorry for me not being able to read as well, especially today. Sometimes it's just like, you do well, and then other times it's like, Though also, it could also be the fact that maybe when I'm reading those things, it's like, there could be typos or something like that. You know? You know. Yeah. Though it is kind of funny sometimes when I do those screenshots, you know, to be like, hey, people that make this game, here's typos, please fix them. They might be like, when I reread them, it's like, oh, this actually seems correct. I just lack the ability to read sometimes, which is true. Hey, you know. So, add to this Let's Play. So comment, guys. I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, otherwise. If you like me YouTube and like Seek Ground, then please like, subscribe, and share the rest of Epic Ground. Please remove spam your and most epic control the pet population. And if you like the same, so we're free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people who make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix, of the Smoke Room. Maybe it wasn't light that doing it. It was because I'm tired today. Half had an interview and did a whole bunch of things and gonna be doing things later today. And then there's also, hey, good sleep. My shoulder hurts. It's been your animals. Thanks and see ya.